Welcome back to ZenDrowse, your home for deep sleep stories, calming reflections, and restful nights. Tonight's story is about how even the smallest act of kindness can ripple outward, softly, quietly, and change someone's day, or even their life. So find a cozy spot, take a deep breath, and let your thoughts settle. Let's begin. There was a town wrapped in quiet hills and stitched together by cobblestone paths, where everything seemed to move just a little slower than the world beyond. In the heart of this town was a small bookshop, narrow, two-storied, with windows that always seemed to fog up from the inside, as if the stories themselves were breathing softly against the glass. The shop's sign read, "Simply ink and thread." It wasn't famous. It didn't sell coffee. It didn't even have a register that beeped. But it had a certain warmth, a warmth that came not from the walls or the books, but from the woman who kept it. Her name was Linara. She was quiet, with gentle hands and eyes that noticed things others didn't. Like when someone was trying not to cry, or when someone needed to be asked, "Do you want to sit for a while?" She had a way of moving through the shop like wind through tall grass, unobtrusive but ever present, and most days she folded birds, little paper birds, from receipts, bookmarks, maps no longer needed. Each one folded with care and left somewhere, far unexpected. A shelf, a stranger's coat pocket, tucked between pages of forgotten poetry. She never signed them, never claimed them, but always made sure they were found. Some had wings that spread wide with handwritten quotes inside, things like, "You are not alone. Even clouds get tired. You matter more than you know." The town came to love them. Children whispered that the birds could fly when no one was looking. Grown-ups kept them tucked in wallets, pinned to mirrors, taped inside drawers. Some said they'd gotten one just when they needed it most. But Linara didn't seek credit. She only smiled when someone spoke of them, like the idea of magic was more beautiful than the truth. One cloudy morning, when the world felt particularly grey, a boy named Callan stepped into ink and thread. He was thin, quiet, and clearly not a reader. His shoes were worn, his coat too small, and he didn't speak at first, just wandered between the shelves like a ghost. Linara watched, then approached softly, looking for anything in particular. Callan shook his head. "Well," she said, kindly, "sometimes the books find you." He didn't answer, but he didn't leave either. After a few minutes, she brought over a mug of warm milk and placed it gently on a reading bench. No charge, just warm. He sat. For 3 days in a row, he returned. He didn't speak, he didn't buy anything, but he stayed for hours. Sometimes reading, mostly just resting. On the 4th day, she noticed something missing from his coat pocket. One of the little birds she'd tucked in the day before. He had found it. That night, she folded another, this one from soft blue paper. Inside, she wrote, "A seed is small, but it can grow a forest." She tucked it into the folds of his scarf the next day. Still no words passed between them. Only the sound of pages turning, of wind tapping softly against the glass, and of warm milk being placed at his side. Then one day, he didn't come. Not the next day. Not the next week. Not for 2 full months. And Linara, who had seen many people come and go, felt something ache, not loud, just present. Like a chair pulled back that no one sat in, but she kept folding birds. Spring arrived, and on a Tuesday morning, as soft as satin, the bell above the bookshop door rang. And there stood Colin, taller, straighter, in a new coat, holding something in his hand. A bird, but not one of hers. It was folded from a sheet of notebook paper, wings a little uneven, creased with care, and inside, a note. "Thank you for seeing me when I felt invisible." He handed it to her. "Wanted to say it," he said quietly, "but I didn't know how until now." Linara smiled, the kind that begins in the chest and radiates outward. Callan nodded once, then turned and walked out. She kept the bird on her desk. Never told anyone where it came from. But every time she saw it, she felt something settle gently in her chest, like a deep breath at the end of a long day. Years passed. Ink and thread remained, through winters and weddings, through storms and seasons. Linara grew older, slower, but never stopped folding birds. Somewhere in the city beyond the hills, a young man now worked in a quiet corner of a library. He wore a coat that fit. He smiled more than he used to, and he folded birds of his own, placing them in books and cafes and classroom desks, each one whispering the truth he now lived by. A small act of kindness can brighten someone's day, and sometimes change their life. Thank you for joining us tonight. If you enjoyed this story and it brought you peace, please like the video. It helps more sleepy souls find their way here. For more calming stories like this one, don't forget to subscribe to ZenDrowse, your sanctuary for sleep. And if this story touched you, we'd love to hear from you in the comments. Sleep well, be kind, and we'll see you in the next story.